Hello, beautiful souls. Just let me crawl down here onto my mat. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to Impromptu yoga class. My name is Sadhana, and I know several of you participated earlier this summer. I did a 40-day restorative yoga sadhana challenge, and I haven't been on with yoga since then. And so I thought tonight I would just come on and do a relaxing practice, and I don't know if anybody's going to show up, but I am here for you. And of course you can watch this in the playback a little bit later. So we'll be on for about 75 minutes. So find a seat and just find your breath. I like to start my practice this way after a busy day. It's a really nice way to help just open the thighs and to get me into seated alignment. When you come into your yoga seat, it's really nice to have your knees below your hips so that the energy is moving this way rather than sitting cross-legged and having your knees up. So the energy then is draining into the hips. We want to be releasing out of the hips. So it's really, for me, this is the easiest way, just to come to the floor after I've been racing around all day. So whatever seat you choose, ideally get the hips above the knees, close your eyes, and come to your breath. And if any of you want to join in the chat, I will look at the chat after. And if you have any questions or concerns, I will stay on after the class and we can talk after the class. Bring your shoulders over your hips. Find your breath. Find a nice long back of the neck. So at the end of a busy day, if this is the end of your day or whatever point of the day it is, I know we're all over the world, bring your internal gaze into the awareness of the cervical spine and just check in that it feels long. You don't want to feel restriction in the back of the neck. And we will be moving the spine in all directions shortly. So move the chin up a little bit, move the chin down a little bit. Can loop the shoulders back, feel a nice openness in the chest. Allow each exhale breath to settle the body a little more firmly into your seat. Adjust the toes and the ankles. And I'll offer up an Om after we just kind of awaken the breath in a few moments. You can keep your eyes closed or open your eyes, extend your arms out to the side, spread your fingers wide, reach all the way up. When you're ready to exhale, bring the palms together, press the hands in through the midline. Feel this in your chest, in your sternum. You can interlace your fingers, release. Inhale, fingers wide, reaching out to the side. And exhale. With the inhale, this time we'll go forward. Inhale, interlace the fingers, extend the arms forward. Elbows can be straight or slightly bent. And then release the arms just behind the back. Once the fingers touch the floor, or not quite, you can inhale overhead. Hello, Audrey. And exhale. My computer is a little bit away from me, so I'll crawl up and read your comment in a minute. This is the inhale breath and the exhale breath. We'll go to the right first, stretching out the neck. You can place the fingertips, the right fingertips on the mat, and then reach up and over to the right. We'll do the whole body, and then we'll do the neck in a few moments. As you exhale, lengthen the side body. Big stretch through the intercostals, the side muscles. Feel this all the way through the underarm, perhaps even through the triceps. Exhaling, exhaling, exhaling. Take a big breath in, float up and over to the other side. You might want to be on fingertips, the flat of your hand. And if this is too much for you, you can always place a block or something, maybe even a book underneath your hand, opening up the left side body. And exhale. Try to keep the chest open, the shoulders back rather than leaning forward. Imagine my hand was in your upper back and just lean into my hand. My elbow is soft here, the bent elbow, the bent left arm. And then inhale, rise up. And exhale to release. If you want to change your seat, so this is one posture that I really like to sit in. The other one, I'll just grab a couple other cushions. These are two of my favorite yoga props. They're filled with buckwheat. So I'm going to go to a different seated posture. I'm going to sit on this small cushion. It's really nice when you practice yoga at home. If you have a variety of cushions, even throw cushions from the couch, just to help support you as you settle into your postures, especially if you're doing this kind of a practice and you're not really warming up the body. So again, I'm raising my hips up and trying to move the knees below the hips. And this is a little bit of a deeper hip opener, a deeper seat. And my thighs, my shins are, this shin is quite parallel to the front. So this is a warm up more for a locust, half locust pose. All right, so we're going to just do the neck now. So keep the opposite shoulder going back, keep the heart space open. Big exhale breaths as you open up the left side of the neck. You can close your eyes, you can gaze up to the ceiling or down to the floor. And once you find your sweet spot, just hang out there. Hello, everybody who's joining in. Welcome. I am quite far away from my computer screen, so I will move up closer to the camera shortly and greet you. Wherever you are, just find your breath, find a comfortable position to sit. And be mindful of how heavy the head is. So just really gentle in awakening the neck. We'll stay here for 3 more breaths. Focus on the exhale. Again, keep the chest open. After the next exhale is complete, inhale the head up. Just take a breath in the center, a little bit of integration. And then breathe in. And then as you exhale, other side. And this side will be different, and that's okay. So let it be different. You can stretch and elongate the side of the neck. It's always, I do this many, many times a week, and it's quite remarkable how the two sides of the body are so different. Keep moving the shoulders back. Feel the length in the right side of the neck. And I'm drawing my chin a little closer to my collarbones because I need a really big stretch on this side. Lots of tension here. Focus on the exhale. Take 3 more deep breaths. After the exhale is complete, allow the head to rise up. 1 breath of integration. Extend the arms out to the side and rest the fingertips on the shoulders. We're going to inhale the elbows back and exhale them forward. Bring them to touch. 1 breath, 1 inhale, and 1 exhale for each rotation. This is going to be a really gentle class, so I want you to just focus on your breath and let go. Whatever part of this, whatever part of your day this is, just give yourself this gift of a few breaths, even if you're just joining us for a couple of minutes. One more in this direction. Full exhale. When you're ready to inhale, the elbows come forward. You feel the openness in the chest. And with the exhale, the shoulder blades move closer together on the back. Inhale and exhale. And if you have a lot of clicking in your shoulders or your shoulder blades, just breathe very gently through it. Move slowly. You can even imagine a lubricant. So maybe it's sweet almond oil or jojoba oil, lubricating your joints as the prana moves through. And then the other thing, so just close your eyes for a second. Just be aware if one shoulder is doing more work than the other. What can you do to invite balance between the right shoulder and the left shoulder? So we'll go one more. See if you can move the arms evenly and mindfully. When the exhale is complete, bring your hands to your lap. We're going to move just into a very gentle opening of the front side of the body. You can rest your hands at your side. Loop the shoulders back. Look up towards the ceiling. Lean back. If this does not feel safe in your neck, you can rest your chin into your collarbones. Find your breath. And then move your face. Say hello to what's ever up there, the sky, the ceiling. Maybe you have a mirror or a poster up there. Move your face, your eyes. Stick out your tongue. Make a raspberry. Oh, feels good. Big breath in. And then exhale. Bring the chin down. And from here, we'll transition into a forward bend. So we're going to move into turtle, which is a favorite posture of the kids in this kind of class. Soles of the feet come together. Knees are wide. You can move your seat side to side. All right, so with this posture, we're going to come into a forward bend, a nice rounded back. I want you to bring awareness to your low back just for a moment here. You can even place your hands here and allow the low back just to kind of move in this direction, right? So you're going to bring some rounding into the low back, not just the upper back. So bring some softness here, bring some warmth and breath. Your diamond can be as large or as small as you want. And then allow the chin to move to the collarbones. Lean back a bit. And then from leaning back, then begin to roll forward. With your hands on your low back, take some deep breaths into your kidneys, your adrenal glands, softening more and more. Let go. Fill up the back body with breath. Your hands, you should feel them moving as you breathe in deeply and breathe out. And then allow the hands to slide forward. You can rest them on your calves or your shins, or you can slide them underneath. And we'll stay here for a couple of minutes in this deep, relaxing forward fold. Check in with your neck. Move your head side to side very gently. Allow gravity to assist and soften even more. Let go. And then become aware of your mouth, your teeth,
your tongue. Soften the mouth, soften the jaw, and the neck. You can keep the breath awareness on the low back, filling the back body with prana. Right, when we're feeling stressed out in any way, the kidneys, the adrenals tend to get compromised. And so bringing awareness to the back is really important. Let's go for 6 more deep breaths. And then very mindfully, you can begin to unwind if you've wrapped your arms underneath. Connect to your low back. Your head will come up last. So slowly rise up, very slowly. Take your time. Loop your shoulders up and back, straighten out your legs, and then just gently move your legs side to side. From here, we'll be going down onto the floor, so you can lie down right onto your back. You won't need anything on your back. For this, we're going to go into what is familiarly known as banana asana in the restorative yoga practice. So just lie down right on your back. Allow the whole spine to relax down onto the floor. And if transitioning to the floor is challenging for you because you've been in a chair all day, keep the knees bent for a few breaths. And just allow the spine to transition. And when you feel ready, you can extend your legs. So in this posture, we're going to also extend the arms overhead. If that is too much for your range of motion, you can hold on to the elbows. And if that itself is also too much, you can keep your arms at your side and just do the legs. Okay, so right now I can feel my low back. So I'm just going to do a little bit of a adjustment for my low back. I'm going to bring the feet to the mat again. Shift, I'm going to lift up my hips and just shift the pelvis a little bit. I'm not sure why my low back is a little fatigued today. So stretching out the whole body. We're going to move the right leg over to the right. So just slide it on the floor. And the left leg will slide over to match it. The right leg and the right arm and the left arm are going to go to the left. Now the tendency here is to roll off the mat. You want to keep weight in the left hip, weight in the left shoulder. So the body is, both shoulder blades and both hips are on the mat. Come to your breath. Feel the stretch in the left side of the body from the left ankle to the left wrist. And I'm holding my left hand with my right hand. So deepening the stretch by kind of binding overhead. And then if you have the space in the low body, you can pick up the left leg and place it on the right ankle. And that will kind of deepen the experience with the leg. And then just breathe. This is a very gentle shape. You may be quite close to center. You might be in a deep crescent moon shape. And wherever you are, just breathe. Check the tension through the body. You want to let go where you can. And if the shoulders have released at all, you can move a little bit further to the right with the upper body. And if you're going to adjust the legs and that left, you've picked up the left foot, just take the foot off. Slide the right leg a little further to the right. And you can play with the shape of your banana or your crescent moon. Lots of weight in the left hip. Keep the left hip anchored to the floor and take 6 more breaths. Release your foot, release your hand. Very slowly come back to neutral, come back to the center of the mat. You can leave your arms overhead, just bend the elbows a little bit. If you need to bend your knees and give your low back a break, you can do that as well too, and just take 3 breaths here in the center. And then go ahead and extend your arms or hold on to the elbows. Slide the left leg to the left, the right leg to meet it, and then create your banana shape with the arms as well too. Stretching out the right side body. And you can pick up the right leg and place it on the left ankle and hold your hands overhead or not. I'm just going to come up and just say hello to whoever's in the chat. Stay with your breath. Oh, Joseph's here. Great. Hello to Joseph and Salo. My voice, tarot. That's great. I'm glad you'll come back later. So just enjoy the stretch on the right side of the body. Keep that right hip weighted. So if you've rolled a little bit over to the right, bring the weight of the right hip down and that right shoulder as well too. Let's take a few more breaths, stretching out the right side body. This was totally impromptu tonight, so I hope more of you can enjoy it in the playback. And Amber is behind the screen if you do hear some strange doggy snoring or something. Couple more deep breaths. And then go ahead and release the lower body, the upper body. And please know that if you are in a really sweet spot and you want to stay in any of the shapes, bring your arms down alongside your torso. Just come into a mini Shavasana for a moment. Because if you are in a shape and it's really feeling nourishing in your body, you just stay there and you look after yourself. This is about self-care. It's about letting go. It's about breath. So from here, we'll transition into a restorative bridge pose. If you do have a block or a throw pillow or something near you, so could be as thin as this, could be a yoga block, could be a cushion from your sofa, have that handy. You can do without anything, of course, but it's more relaxing if you have a prop. Bend your knees, bring the soles of the feet to the mat. And before you raise the hips up, feel for the heels. So move the heels quite close to your seat. Also in your mind's eye, bring the heels out a little bit so you feel a little bit pigeon-toed. The knees are separated, so the knees are hip distance apart. And then you can just have your hands resting at your side. Inhale the hips away from the floor. Slide your cushion or your block underneath the low back. And sometimes it takes a couple of tries to get that right. Walk your shoulder blades together. And I really do recommend placing something underneath. This practice is about letting go. And not coming onto the highest height of your block either, if you've got a yoga block. Either the lowest or the second height. Walk the shoulder blades closer together so that you have an opening in the chest. I'll give you a little bit of breath guidance in this shape as well too. And if you feel like, yeah, I can go a little higher or I've gone a little too high, then adjust, right, with breath. So you can breathe in, raise the hips up, take the block lower or higher, and then come back to your shape. So the higher the block, the bigger the stretch for the thighs, the deeper the general opening. And if you've adjusted, you're probably going to need to adjust your shoulders again as well too. So come into the heart space, please. Feel the breath in the chest. Check in with your glutes. Have you tightened up your buttocks? See if you can let go of the buttocks muscles. Then come back to the chest. Feel the breath in the chest, in the heart space. The frequency of the seed sound, the mantra for the heart space is yum. So you might like just silently just repeat yum as you inhale and yum as you exhale. Check in with your buttocks. It likes to tighten up here. So see if you can soften the bottom. And then come back to your heart space. Inhale, yum. Exhale, yum. And if you don't have a cushion or anything underneath you and you're done, then just come into a posture of relaxation. And you can join us in the next shape in a few minutes. Let's go 11 deep breaths. Bring your awareness back to your physical body if you've drifted off. Walk the arms in a little closer. You can adjust the shoulder blades. If your feet have slidden forward, slid forward, bring them back in so you feel supported in raising your hips up with an inhale breath, and then mindfully lowering down, ideally upper back, middle back, and lower back. And then walk your feet wide on the mat. Maybe one or two toes is off the mat, and rest the knees together. From here, we're going to do a few variations of supine thread the needle, and I'll give you an option for doing it on the wall as well too. So we'll just start on the mat. Separate the knees, heel toe the feet so they are hip distance apart. And we're going to start with the left leg on top. So bend your left knee, place the left foot on the right thigh. And just exhale the left thigh away. Not bouncing, but just gently pressing the thigh away. My left foot is quite active on the thigh. So if you're going to do this on your mat or wherever you are in the center of the room, what you're going to do is bring your right knee towards you. So raising the right foot off the floor. And you can take your hands through this triangle shape and hold your hands, interlace fingers behind the right hamstrings. And just hang out here. Back of the neck is long, head is on the floor. Your left elbow compress the thigh away. And your exhale breath. You can move with breath here to kind of deepen this experience. If you do have wall space. This is a beautiful posture. I think you can see me over here. To also practice on the wall. So you can place that right foot on the wall and you want to scoot in so you're about at a right angle. And then you can just relax. You could also place something here, like a large cushion to keep this left knee away. So either on the wall or in the center of the room. The yoga block looks really nice here too, because it just keeps the joint open and allows it to, from not falling back. From here, we're going to transition into a supine twist. So what's going to happen, if you're on the wall, back away from the wall, come join us in the center of the room. Just give you a moment to do that. And hopefully we're all on the same side. So I am on the same side as you are. My left foot is on my right knee, or just above my right knee. So now I'm going to release my hands to the floor, bring the right foot to the floor. And we are going to go with the legs to the right. Now, in all supine twists, I do like to make a small adjustment of the hips. So like in the bridge posture, raise your hips up off the floor, shift them a little bit left and put them down. Now, allow the feet to stay as they are. The foot's going to come off a little bit over to the left, and we're just going to twist over to the right.
Okay, so my feet are in the same position. So it's so hard to do this upside down. The left foot is still on the right thigh. Open your arms wide, and you can place your right hand on the left IT band or the knee. And this is really juicy. If this is too much, bring the arm in closer. If you want the stretch through the pecs, keep the arm wide. If you have a cushion handy and you want to place it underneath the knee that is hanging off the floor over on the right side of your body, that's your left knee, you can do that as well too. Big stretch through your back ribs. If it's too much, again, bring this arm in, that will help. The gaze is either up to the ceiling or to the left. Check in with your feet. Soften your ankles, soften your feet. Scan the body for tension and then let go. If your mind tends to wander, just focus on the breath. Or you can inhale and repeat the word let with the inhale and repeat the word go as you exhale. 3 more breaths. And if you want to stay, stay. So bring the left arm in closer to the body. Remove your right hand from your knee. And if you want to unwrap down here, down low, you can. Or you can just bring the knees up. And we need to come back to neutral. So just really take your time. Be mindful of where you are. Adjust your seat, your hips. Come into a mini Shavasana just for a few breaths. Neutralize the shoulders. Let go. And feel the effects of that deep stretch through the left side of the body. The reason I go to the right first is that your ascending colon. So especially if you've been eating, you want to kind of squish up the right side first and then the left side. The left side being the descending colon. And I'm sure some of you would like to stay here, but we need to even this out. So bend your knees, bring the soles of the feet to the mat. If you want to go back to the wall, go back to the wall if you were there for the first side. And then the left foot should feel like it's kind of right underneath the left hip. And then you're going to bend your right knee and place the right foot on just above the knee. You want to even out the body so you feel nice and balanced. Exhale the right knee away. Keep the left foot on the floor for a few breaths. And welcome. I think there's one more person that's joined us. We can chat for a few moments after
after we're done, if anyone's still here. Gently pulse the knee away. Keep that left hip on the ground. And then we'll move into thread the needle. So the left foot's going to come off the floor. Reach your arms through. You can hold on behind the hamstring. And then you want to bring your head back to the floor. And just very mindfully press the right knee away. This can be a big stretch for some people. If you are way off the floor, you can't get your head back down, then just grab a cushion and place it behind your head. This is meant to be relaxing, not stressful. Inhale, let, exhale, go. Now this left foot, you can soften. You can totally chill here, or you can engage the feet and continue to work with breath, exhaling into a deeper stretch. Just make sure your ego is not directing your practice tonight. Try to soften and let go. Sometimes a few loving little finger taps on that if your right hip is really tight, right? So you can release your hands and just give your right hip a little massage. So we'll move into the supine twist. So lower the left foot to the floor and release your arms. So we're going to adjust the hips first. So like the bridge, you raise the hips up, shift them a little bit over and then down. And then keep this foot where it is. And I've picked up this foot as I kind of shift over into the twist. My foot stays on the knee or thereabouts. I'm just adjusting my shoulder blades, open the arms wide. Ideally, when you come into a supine twist, you want the shoulder blades, both shoulder blades on the floor. So that's why I adjusted my upper body, just kind of picking up the back, and then because my right pecs are very tight. Now here on this side, I have a bit of a gap and I'm comfortable hanging out like this, but if you're not, you can, again, my tea is there, I don't want to spill it. Grab a cushion and then you could place a cushion here. But I actually like the moderate amount of stress just to help me to let go. Gaze is up to the ceiling or to the right arm. I didn't mention on the other side about grabbing the tail. Some of you might know this posture about grabbing the back foot, but that's anyway, next time. And if your right pectoral muscles are super tight, if you're right-handed, right-footed, and your right hip is super tight, just exhale. Focus on the exhale. Let go. Give yourself permission to feel. Feel whatever you're feeling. As we move into the energy of the full moon, tomorrow night, where I am, emotions can start to feel more amplified, and that's not a bad thing. Right? Sometimes we're so used to stifling them, so feel whatever you're feeling right now. You can also place this hand here on the IT band area, massaging the IT band if it's tight, or on the knee, and you should feel this stretch from this point on your right leg all the way through. For me, it's the ring finger. So if I move my fingers one at a time, I can really feel the stretch through all the tendons. Imagine the prana surging through all the way, through the underarm, through the ribs, over the hip. Take 6 more breaths. Check in with your feet, adjust your feet if you need to. And like I said, if you want to stay, stay. I'd actually like to stay, but we're going to go on. Bring the right arm in. Very mindful with your adjustment. So you can unwrap here and then guide the knees up. Come back to the center of your mat. Find a neutral position with the spine. Both arms alongside the body. Go ahead and extend your legs, or you can bend the knees, walk the feet wide, and rest the knees together. And just allow for a few breaths of integration. From here, we're going to transition back up to our seats. And I encourage you to bend the knees, keep the feet together, roll into a fetal position. And then when you feel ready, you can come up. So we're going to come into straddle. And like I showed you in that second seated posture, it's a really good idea to place a block or a cushion or a blanket underneath your hips when you are in many seated postures. So I'm going to place this small block underneath my hips. I'm not going to sit right on it, just at the front of it, and then come back into straddle. If the tendons behind your knees are cranky, then place something like this small bolster here or something underneath your knees. Stay upright, please. Close your eyes. And my spine is nice and long. And I feel the length in the back of my neck. And just breathe. If your adductors are tight, take your time in this posture. We're going to do a little bit of ankle rotation and awareness in the feet and breath before we come into a deeper forward fold. Feel your toes. Don't look at your toes because they're far apart. Close your eyes if you want. You can see your toes in your mind's eye. And inhale your toes towards you. And exhale, point your toes, stretch out your shins. Inhale, curl your toes towards you, stretch out the calves. And exhale, point the toes away. Inhale. And exhale. Nice long, slow breaths. And then we'll do a couple of rotations. So you can inhale and exhale, just circle the ankles. It really helps in the straddle forward fold if you just take a moment to awaken the legs. Inhale and exhale. And then after the next exhale is done, go the other way. Inhale and exhale. If you have cracking ankles, breathe more.
Okay, so in this forward fold, if you do have a bolster, you can grab your bolster and or a block. And I'll show you what I mean in a second. If you don't have a bolster, you just on your fingertips. And you're hinging forward in this one, not rolling forward like in the first forward fold. So you can bring your hands to the mat. You want to feel a nice long spine. Now I'm softening my thighs completely. And if you soften your thighs and it's like, whoa, that's way too big of a stretch, then just bring a little bit of engagement with your inhale and then soften with your exhale and keep engaging and releasing with your breath. If you do have a bolster and a block, this is what I like to do. Or if you have a couple of blocks. So, a couple of things. If you just have a bolster, you can put the bolster in this direction and then rest your forehead on your bolster. So this is one option. Alternatively, you can do something like this if you have the props. This is a really nice way because you're also resting your belly on something. And then if you're still up, you can rest your hands, stack your fists, and let go. And now here my back is rounded. I really, in this pose, like to work the length in my back. So it's entirely up to you. There's nothing wrong with rounding your back. It's just a different stretch, working on the length as opposed to the rounding the back, which is going to stretch out the muscles between the ribs and so forth. And then if you can come down to your forearms, come down to your forearms. You can also use your pillow or your cushion this way, right? If you can soften your ankles and let go. Just stay where you are. I'm just going to hop and just need to grab my phone for timing. So we'll do one more posture before Shavasana. And I'll guide you through a little bit of relaxation in the Shavasana tonight. If you have rounded your back a lot, be really mindful and slow in the way that you rise up. If you're able to extend and feel the nice long spine, and then just press away with a nice elongated spine and come all the way up. So we're going to I'm going to give you a couple different options, either deer, sometimes it's called, or you can do a pigeon. So, and I would like you, if possible, to support the pigeon if you're doing pigeon. So I'll show you the two different options. So for support, you need a block of some kind for most people. But I'll show you the deer option first. And if this is great, we'll just stay in this one. But some people like to go deeper. So we're gonna bring the right shin parallel to the front of the mat. The back leg, this back leg is also kind of parallel to the front. I'm completely weighted on my right hip, okay? I'm just picking up to find the balance, taking my torso over the front leg. And if this is easy for you, so let's start if this is challenging for you. If this is challenging for you, come up and go over to the right and come down. And if that is still challenging for you, you can rest your forearm on blocks or forearms on blocks or just stay up. The more open you are, the more you're going to be able to come over to towards the foot. And this will be a deeper stretch. Some of you may be able to come all the way over and to bring your elbow to the sole of your foot. Okay, so for those of you that just can't chill here and you want to do pigeon or pigeon preparation, I have to spin around to show you. You're going to bend this knee in, extend the left leg back. Now, for most people in this shape, the right buttocks is off the mat. So you ideally want to just put a little something under there and then come down. Okay, so we're going to stay here for a couple of moments. You choose your medicine. I'm going to go back to where we started. And you can press away from the floor just a little bit and then move your torso a little bit further to the left and then come down again. The back leg is completely relaxed. If you have a bolster too, you could slide something in here and rest on it. Take a few more deep breaths. See where you can let go. And then very slowly press away from the floor. And we'll transition to the other side. So this is a real simple shape, right? You're kind of square here in between the legs. Front shin is parallel to the front of the mat. And again, it's easier if you're resting over on your left elbow. It's way more chilled over here than it is over here. It's a different experience. So for most people, you can start straight over the left leg and make your way down into relaxation. And if you want to do pigeon, just make sure that there's something underneath your left buttocks. So you're relaxing. Left ankle is soft. Right leg is relaxed.
Finish your next exhale. Rise up just a little bit. See if you can come closer to the foot. Of course, you're welcome to stay exactly as you are, and then you can come down, back down to the, over the leg. Take a few more deep breaths. Bring your arms in closer if they're extended, and then slowly rise up. Both legs out front. If you have a blanket, grab a blanket and then lie down on your back. If you do have a cushion to place underneath your knees, place something underneath your knees, come down onto your backs into Shavasana. When you come into Shavasana, final relaxation posture, make sure your legs are far enough apart that they can completely let go. You can bring the shoulder blades under. Ideally, the palms are open to the ceiling. Your toes, your hands are not touching anything. Scan your body from the crown of the head to the tips of the toes. And then just check in. Are there any body parts that are still holding on? And if you're aware, that'll probably be on the dominant side of your body. Just take a few breaths in and out of that, if you're aware of that. And then just let go. And to take you into deeper relaxation, we're going to trace the whole body, and then I will leave you in silence for a few minutes. Imagine a piece of chalk. And you have a piece of chalk that if your hands are facing up to the ceiling, then you're going to start at your right pinky finger and take that piece of chalk and trace around the outside of the left hand over the pinky and trace each of the right fingers going in and out. What color is your chalk? See the color of the chalk. Very slowly. You can even use breath as you move the chalk. And then you're going to go up over the outside of the right arm, over the shoulder, neck, over the head. And you go down the other side, around each of the fingers. Up the inside of the left arm, right up to the armpit. Down the left torso. Hip. Down the thigh. Lower leg. And then when you get to the foot, trace the foot as well too. Trace all 5 toes of the foot. And then up the inside of the left leg, all the way up to your crotch, And then down the other side. If your timing is a little different, then just be with wherever you are. Trace all 5 of your right toes. And then up the right, outside of the right leg, to the right armpit, down the right arm, and then just release the chalk and come into your breath. Deep breaths. And I'm going to leave you in silence for a couple of minutes, so just relax and let go. And if you wish to transition out of Shavasana, then bring your awareness back to my voice. And if you would like to stay on the floor, relaxing, just stay there. For those of you that are ready to transition, bring awareness back to your breath, your body, and begin to move your fingers, your toes, your wrists, your ankles, moving and stretching. When you're ready, you can bend your knees, bring your knees up towards your chest, and gently rock side to side. Perhaps breathing as you rock side to side. And then roll over onto a side into a fetal position. And just stay there for a couple of breaths.
And when you feel ready, you can come back up to your seat. And I am going to hop over to the screen if any of you want to chat for a few minutes after. Bring your hands into heart center and feel the warmth in your hands, the prana in your hands. And just be aware of the shift in frequency from whenever you joined us. Perhaps feel the gratitude of this gesture, the connection of the hands to the heart, and whatever that means for you, naming the gratitude. And if you would like to join me in a closing Om, let's do a cleansing breath first, breathing in and breathing out. And then breathing in for Om. Namaste. Blessed be Jai Bhagwan, whatever your closing prayers are. So I'm just going to move a little closer to my computer so I can see the chat if anybody's here. If you're not, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them, or you can leave a comment below if you're watching this later. And let me know. I teach private yoga. I actually have quite a few students that I do private yoga with on Zoom. And some of us meet once a week. Some of us meet more often. And yeah. So let me know if anybody's still here. And if you want to say anything. Tomorrow I will be doing readings for the full moon. And it feels like it's quite a emotional energy for this full moon. So I will be choosing decks accordingly. So you might want to start thinking about a couple of things. Like one is the energy of, there's a surrender around the energy of the full moon. So, you know, what can I release? What can I let go of? What can I offer up? Those kinds of questions. As far as, you know, anything in your life, really. And so that can be a beautiful thing to focus on. And then, you know, 90% of people seem to be asked about love and relationships. And so really tomorrow in those readings, if you can bring to mind something a little more deep and profound, because the energy around the full moon is a really beautiful opportunity to dig a little deeper. Oh, hi, Audrey. So I'll respond to you too, Joseph. So Audrey asked, how long have I been teaching restorative? Oh gosh, years, many, many years. So I had regular public classes like in yoga studios for years. I've taught it. Yeah, it's one of my favorite practices. And it's just, even if you can do 2 or 3 postures before you go to bed at night, you just sleep so much better. It's such a beautiful practice. And if you haven't seen the series that I did one, like a single card draw and one posture for 40 days earlier in the summer. So there's 40 videos that are on my YouTube channel. So you might want to check that out. And Joseph said, did what I could from my chair while working on a stressful problem. Yeah, sometimes, you know, sometimes it's just a matter of a couple of breaths and it can really shift everything. So I think we just need to remember that. And sometimes it's just a matter, that you could be driving and like totally stressed out. Just pull over and take a breath and slow down. It's an important part of the day. It's an important part of wellness. So thank you for being here with me this evening, and enjoy the rest of your evening or your day wherever you are. Namaste.